Researchers have just launched a late-stage clinical trial on a whole new kind of COVID-19 vaccine, one that's grown in plants. They're looking for volunteers in San Diego. We're going in depth on what you might call the world's first vegan vaccine. Medicago's manufacturing facility looks like a nursery, but inside these plants, they're growing a new kind of vaccine, one that's now being tested in volunteers around the U.S., including in San Diego.
They can grow this material very fast.
Dr. Dennis Tarakchian is leading the local arm of the trial at the Medical Center for Clinical Research.
It's a two-shot administration 21 days apart.
He says this vaccine doesn't need to be frozen like the ones from Pfizer and Moderna, so it's easier to transport and store. It's refrigerated at the same temperatures as the shot from Johnson & Johnson, but it uses entirely different technology. The vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna contain little bubbles of genetic instructions that prompt your cells to make a fragment of the virus. Instead of a fragment, Medicago uses plants to grow particles that look like the entire coronavirus. Just check it out under a microscope.
As we humans try to reduce our impact on the planet, all sorts of products are going plant-based, from burgers and meatballs to shoes. And now, even vaccines are following suit. Scientists are developing vaccines that can be grown in plants instead of animal cells. In 2006, the first plant-based vaccine was approved in the US. For chickens. And while this technology is still not widely used, it gives us an idea where vaccines might be headed and why we might want them to go the way of the Beyond Burger. Now, traditionally, vaccines are grown in eggs or animal cell cultures. That's because to produce a vaccine the traditional way, you need a bunch of copies of a virus. And if you inject a virus into animal cells, it will grow and replicate itself. For instance, one way to manufacture the flu vaccine is in the cells of fertilized chicken eggs. Other vaccines, like the ones for polio and measles, are grown in cultures of animal cells that have been propagated in labs. Once these viruses are grown, they're extracted and then typically weakened or killed before getting injected into people, or chickens, to give them immunity. But this isn't the only way to do things. It's also possible to grow vaccines in plants. It just works a little differently. Instead of growing a whole virus in the plant cells, genetic engineers transfer certain genes from the virus into the plant's genome. Those genes make viral proteins that appear in the plant's tissues or seeds, and then just eating the plant could provide immunity. No need for a shot. For example, scientists have successfully grown a common protein found in the flu virus in a tiny flowering plant called duckweed. This means that an animal like a chicken could eat this duckweed and boom, vaccinate itself against the flu. But even if the plant that grew the vaccine can't be eaten directly, the viral proteins could be extracted from the plant and mixed with foods. And again, the vaccine could be eaten.